Yo, guys, welcome back in today. So today we're going to be talking about Amazon and the Khoisan people or Khoi and San people in South Africa. So if you don't know, the Khoi and San people or Khoisan people are the oldest inhabitants of South Africa. Actually, a lot of people believe that they are the oldest modern human beings in the world. If you've never seen them before, I'll have a picture right here as well, but a lot of people would say, I actually have had people say in America in different places that, a person of African descent looks Asian, but in all reality, what they should be saying is that Asian people look African because Africa, for one, has the most diverse population in the whole world, and for two, has the oldest populations of DNA in the world in Africa. So the Khoisan people are the oldest group that are like native to South Africa, and also a lot of them have what people would call Asian features, right? And they're some of the oldest people, have always been there, and they just are there. So Amazon is actually trying to build a mixed use building. So they're trying to build it in a certain area, and this area is close to I think two rivers, if I'm correct. And the Khoi and San people, they don't want this to happen. Not all of them, but a lot of them. I think it's over 50,000 signatures that were signed that doesn't want this new Amazon location to actually be there. And a lot of it has to do with nature as well. The nature is it's a very sensitive area. The ecosystem is very sensitive, and a lot of people that are in the nature field say that could really mess up the ecosystem of that area. And also, you got to realize that the Khoi and San people have fought off the Portuguese in the 1500s. I think it was like 1510. That was the first time that they fought off the European Portuguese. And then, if I'm correct, the Dutch came back in after that and tried to distribute the land. Now, it's very interesting that on Amazon's side, Amazon has said that it took all the necessary procedures in the city, like around in South Africa, like around Cape Town and certain areas, to where they asked the public, would this Amazon building be okay? What does the public think about it? And supposedly a lot of the public in South Africa is actually for it. And I understand from both sides. I understand the development side of any country. Development, it's inevitable to develop with buildings, and you need infrastructure to create things, right? But also I can understand that there's a group of people that are native there, that have a long history there, that want their land to be preserved. And actually, the Khoisan people want that land to be preserved as a national heritage site or even a world site. And I can understand that. You fought so hard for this land, which is where your native people come from, and you don't want anything to be developed on there. But I also understand from the other side that when you have development in the modern world, you're going to need infrastructure, you're going to need buildings. And granted, I know Amazon is a big, huge American company, the biggest company in the world. So this is probably going to be a very hard battle, especially if you're talking about, the government in South Africa being involved with the development of South Africa. And obviously, it's going to be a hard balance between moving into the future and keeping indigenous people, or if people want to live a traditional lifestyle in certain areas. Now, the thing about this area was that there was actually, I think, already a bar and a restaurant there, and there was like a heritage, there was like a sign, I guess, or some kind of plaque that was telling the history of the Khoi and San people in that area. But I also understand that they fought for so long for that area. So the Khoisan people and certain activist group reached out to Amazon, and in big company corporation fashion, Amazon had nothing to say. So they passed the inquiry on to the developer. So the people that are actually developing that Amazon site, they passed that inquiry on to them. And then the developer passed on the inquiry to the actual land trust property, or the company, I guess, that owns the land, right? I mean, I could be wrong about that, but when I see land trust properties, that's only land that's in a trust, and I don't know who owns that trust. I would maybe have to look it up. But also, that brings me to another point, that having a trust is very important in this life. Having a trust, there are land trusts, there are family trusts, there's trust you can put your car into a trust. Trust is a really, really big deal. And I've learned this as of not too long ago, because I didn't know it growing up. But having a trust and having land trust, anything in a trust, I suggest you start a trust. Start a private trust, public trust, whatever it might be. I would suggest a private trust. But when you have a trust and you have land in a trust, there's certain rights and protections that it has. If you have your car in a trust, there's certain rights and protections it has in anything, property, anything. There's always pros and cons to everything. But I would suggest you guys look into getting a trust for your family or your vehicles or your house or anything like that. But once these inquiries got to that land trust property, they said that they held a public meeting, right? Or they basically put the public on notice, and most of the people in South Africa and the public were for it, except for these certain people in the Khoisan group, and then also some environmental activists and other activists that just don't want Amazon to be in that area. So what do you guys think about it? There's a balance between development and then keeping traditions. I would like to know what you guys would think about it. Of course, Amazon is an American company, a giant company, one of the biggest companies in the world. I'm pretty sure if anybody lives in the Western Hemisphere, at some point you probably order off of Amazon. I have, not going to sit up here in front and say that I haven't. But also, I think that the company should definitely look into understanding a certain group of people, which is a big corporation, so it's probably not going to. I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, I hope that it doesn't happen. I hope they can work something out to where, you know, Amazon can maybe go somewhere else. But also, I think the resentment of having foreign companies in any country is also always going to be there, because there's always going to be a group of people that doesn't want foreign companies or corporations in their country, especially in their land, in their area. It happens all the time in America when there's foreign countries that or companies that come to America. There's a certain group of people that don't like it as well. But also, these are people that have been on that land, native people that have been there for maybe close to 1 million years, you know, which is a very long time. So, or maybe even further, maybe even longer, who really knows? So when you're talking about such an ancient people in a certain group of land, you have to handle that very delicately. So I just want to know what you guys think. You know, of course, governments and economists, right, they're going to say development, development, development. But people that believe in traditions and people that believe in a certain land and how sacred it is, they obviously have their traditional beliefs as well. So it's a very, you have to balance that very well. What do you guys think about it? So yo guys, please like, subscribe, turn on all the bell notifications so you'll always get all my videos. Add me on all social medias, which is Afric Network, which is Instagram, Twitter, SoundCloud, Snapchat, and Facebook. Each one teach one. Always love each other, always learn from each other, and always try to come to agreement. And until next time, guys, peace, one love.